Greetings. Today on Business in Motion, we're going to be having a heart-to-heart discussion with Mr. Eric Garvan, and this is regarding the possibility of a golden era for business on the horizon for Black people. Stick around. You're really going to love this program.
Wow, physically enslaved.
In my view, this is just how it seems to me.
Okay.
I hear people say that, oh, this is like the second Reconstruction, and I say, no, I disagree. I think this is more like 1789 as opposed to 18. Another thing, we don't know dates.
Mm-hmm.
We have no sense, many of us.
Mm-hmm.
We have no idea of what year something happened and how many years was that. I mean, we're back to the math of money. Okay, math just boggles us, and so I'm just saying, yeah, okay, $1 trillion. I mean, there's so much. If we would use our money differently, if we would think about ourselves differently, we could do so much. Something real simple. Suppose, like right now, what I see is there is a tremendous transfer of wealth from older Black people to young white people, and it's happening at the point of death.
Please expand on that.
What's happening right now, because we don't have nursing homes, because we don't run, now it's not zero, the number isn't zero.
Right.
Okay, so let me just be clear about that. But in order for a person, Black or white, to get the assistance, to get the care that they need, as we tend to get older and sicker, you have to spend down resources to qualify. And you wind up, a person will wind up losing or having to sell, being forced to liquidate assets. So we can see it in almost every city where Black people have made some progress. The older Black people are selling these houses. If we want to use that. The young white people are scooping them up. Also, because of the anger and upset in our families, people aren't talking to each other. So heirs' property goes to probate, or the lawyers get it, and it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. I mean, if someone would actually sit down and look and see how much money it is, it would really blow people's minds.
You got a very, very good point. And I mean, especially when you're speaking of probate, I used to do probate real estate, still do some probate real estate. And I'm telling you, like the number, I looked at D.C. and Prince George County and Montgomery County, where you have large populations of Black people. And, as you were saying, every word that you were saying is absolutely correct. That is, there's a transfer, and typically it's not other Black people who get to capitalize on the transfer. It's others who don't look like us.
Well, see, that's the other piece, too. Okay, so let's just take something that happens. It certainly happened in my family.
Mm-hmm.
It happened. A person goes into the hospital and they're sick. You come out with medication. The medication is expensive. In order to get the medication, particularly on a fixed income, you have to spend money that came from someplace on medicine. Now, we're in a situation where in the Black community, the idea of being overweight is being promoted. Okay, so, she's got a big fat, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
The media is promoting the idea of being fat in the Black community. And diabetes is draining so much money from our community. Having diabetes is expensive. Okay, so you don't die. You linger. they put you on maintenance. And that maintenance means that they're just sucking the money out of you over a period of time. But then when you go into the hospital and you have to come out, now you have to go someplace and you need care. So now you also lose money because when you go home, there's a person who did have a job or who was able to earn overtime or work extra or whatever. They can't do that now because they have to take care of you.
Right.
So you're losing money there. And I think this is something, and this is the main thing that I really want to get across. I'm not saying that people should do one thing or the other. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying let's just look at what is actually happening. That's the only thing I'm saying. I'm not making a point. I'm asking questions.
I understand.
And the question I'm asking is how much money is that? So when you say that we have $1 trillion, like, do we really?
Well, it came through. I mean, they were given, people like this were paid or they received that much, but how long did it stay in the hands? And it turned over very quickly. And obviously, you know, you didn't have others who, again, looked like us who were in receivership of that money, is what it sounds like. And when you're speaking about this diabetes, I know one of the biggest industries, one of the biggest businesses in so many black communities today happens to be the dialysis center. And that's a direct result of diabetes.
Well, that's another thing, too. I'm not a big fan of this, somebody who looks like me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. I want to say black people.
Okay.
I want to say African American. I don't like that, somebody who looks like me.
Right.
Like, are you scared? Like where did that come from? I'm supposed to say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud.
All right.
That's what I'm telling you. Shirley Chisholm's Brooklyn. Shirley Chisholm happened on our kitchen table. So there's somebody who looks like me. What are you talking about?
Gotcha. A question. Now, what's your opinion on the new phraseology of people of color versus black people? I mean, because back in the day, we would colored people. To me, it's like, okay, they're playing with semantics. But what's your opinion?
No, we're playing. See, we are the ones that are playing with it.
Okay.
It's us. This is us. We're the ones. We're scared. I listen to these people say, and I got there and there was nobody who looked like me. I'm like, do you want your mommy? Like, that's where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be where there's nobody that looks like you. That's where you're supposed to be. Are you telling the world that you are a follower? Is that what are you proud to say that you are a follower? You wouldn't feel good unless somebody got there before you. Is that what you're saying?
Good point.
I mean, this is unbelievable what I see.
Very interesting.
I feel like, and you know, this wasn't what I had intended to talk about, but since we are talking about it, I'm going to I'll take advantage of this microphone let's just talk about what's going on. Does anybody want to talk about what we can actually observe? And I'm saying I found out about a month ago this phrase BIPOC. I didn't know I was a BIPOC. I think that's the stupidest thing. The BIPOC. I'm a BIPOC.
Could you please explain to the listeners what that is?
I'm a BIPOC. Yes, well, the BIPOC community. I was like, what is a BIPOC? Black and indigenous people of color. Now, you done watered me down.
Oh, wow. Okay, I got you. I never heard that. A BIPOC.
I hadn't either, but these people, and they are very educated people, they seem to think I should know about it. And I asked some friends of mine, they said, you didn't know? I said, no, I didn't know.
I never heard that until right now. A BIPOC.
I'm just saying. and I'm saying another thing is, in terms of, let's talk about our money. Okay, here in the district, maybe in Baltimore, other parts of the country, and maybe it would be different because of the ethnic mix. But I don't know if I have ever seen an Asian person put money in a black person's hand. But I see black people putting, and I'm not speaking against Asian people, I'm really just pointing out, we say this figure of so many trillions of dollars, but for many of us, it's just a pass-through.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just a pass-through.
And it goes through quickly.
Really have it.
Yes. Understood. Another question. I'm wondering if because obviously there's a lot of Asian, mainly Koreans. They open a lot of shops. The eateries, the restaurants. A lot of the Chinese restaurants aren't really owned by Chinese. They're owned by Koreans. My big question is, if they didn't come into the community and open them, would there be any places for the black people to eat?
I'm okay. I think that's a real question.
Yeah, because
okay, that's number one. Because I grew up in a neighborhood where there were black people, but there were white people too, who had. You could go someplace and somebody would scramble an egg for you. Somebody would break an egg, make some toast. There were little, coffee shops, or they didn't call them that then, but they were a place where you could go and, they had some breakfast spots. Now that's before McDonald's and all that got big.
Right.
But I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, a lot of it seems like...
I don't understand the psychologists. There's so much research, I think, that needs to go in, that could go into our psychology, because I'm wondering if we're so mad at each other that we don't want to sit down and have a meal together. I'm wondering that.
Yeah.
Why are we eating? Why are we going to these? And again, I'm not knocking the people. I want to be real clear. I'm not knocking the people. They're simply playing the cards they're dealt, and they see an opportunity and they're taking advantage of it.
Absolutely.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm
not
not against these people. I'm not against them. I want to be clear about that. I'm wondering, I'm asking a question, what is actually happening? We're dealing with that so many trillions of dollars that people tell us sometimes. And I'm like, what is going on with that money? What is going on in our mind? And we have to dissect this. We have to dissect what's actually happening. Because I'm asking these as real questions when we come to the math of money. When we start asking ourselves, well, wait a minute. Well,
yeah,
to create families, because I've been married twice and divorced twice. And I would tell any person, before you get married, get your money right. I would tell anybody, before you get married, get your money right.
That's some very good advice. Very good.
You think so? Why do you think that's good advice?
Money is the foundation. I mean, if you just look at the relationship, you look at so many aspects of life, it goes right back to the finances, the money. It is like the backbone of whatever. And I look at other groups, for instance, with Jewish people, in which I've done a lot of business interactions with them and learned, quite a bit, from them. And I know with certain things that they view as being a fundamental to success. Number one, family, business, having your money and everything together. And when I look at them, the divorce rates are much lower than other ethnicities, especially within the United States. So part of it, when you ask the question, is part of it just, understanding that money being like the backbone, and also from observation of others who, have a system. If you're looking at their paradigm, it seems to be a little more successful when it comes to working together as a unit.
Well, I'll say this also to add to your point. I'm in 100% agreement.
Yes.
But if you marry a woman and she moves in with you, there's one conversation you will never have.
And what's that?
get out.
Okay, could you explain? Oh, you know what I'm saying when you say
I
that.
don't think I can say it any clearer than that. If you marry a woman and she moves in with you,
Mm-hmm.
she will never tell you to get out.
Okay. No, you got. I didn't understand what you first said. You said you will never tell you to get out.
She can't
That,
tell you.
No, she can't because
say it, but it won't be a conversation.
right.
There won't be any back and forth. She can say whatever she wants.
I got a message here. Something that came in, a text message from one of our listeners, and it's like, okay, they want me to mention like our young people being trapped in spending habits on clothing, hair, jewelry, cosmetics due to the media. Talking about TikTok,
Absolutely.
social media, etc. We don't know who to be. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I look at, wow, now that person who sent that text is very wise because I just look at it seems like we're trying, it's that whole thing about imitation of life. And I look at the money that leaves our community with people trying to look like people whom they are not. Going back to what you were stating about looking like me and being proud to be black. Say I'm black and I'm proud. Well, what's your feelings?
I don't understand it, brother. I have to say, when I say I don't understand that, I'm really asking a question. Where did these wigs come from?
Oh my God! And the thing, what I'm telling you, Eric,
Where did they come?
and they put them on and look worse.
I was telling a friend of mine, I said, I really love to see and I love to feel a black woman's hair.
Right.
I mean, especially those cotton candy, it looks like a big fluffy ball of cotton candy.
Yep.
Even short. Even some women, they can be very feminine with very short hair. These wigs that look like they're stapled. And listen, look, everybody's got their own style. I'm not trying to tell anybody, but the amount of money, I want to come back to the money.
Yes.
And where's that money going? How many black people are in the wig industry? What happened to Naomi Sims? What happened to, I don't know, I don't know the wig world, but are we in the wig business? I mean, if we're buying wigs, are we making wigs? I was shocked. I was working on a project, and I was shocked to find out how few black cosmetic companies there are.
Okay.
Because I remember Wantu Wazuri, Use Afro Sheen.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that there were black cosmetic companies, Johnson & Johnson, some of the companies that came up. And now I look around, and I'm not seeing there's a few. Yes, there's shea butter here, there. But for the number of black people, where are our cosmetics companies? Where are our wig companies? Who's doing nails? All these Asian companies that are putting nails on black people's fingers. Do we have acrylic manufacturers? Are we manufacturing nail polish? I mean that's a huge industry. Are we in that business? I don't know. This would be a question in my mind.
Well, I think
if we don't want to do the nails, are we supplying? Are we, I mean, do we even know, do our young people even know how to mix the paint? Do we own the intellectual property? Do we own patents on healthy nail polish? At the HBCUs, are we researching how to paint nails with chemicals that won't harm your body? Are we doing that? Do we have our scientists working on that?
And I would say probably no.
I don't know. I'm asking this as a question.
Right.
This is where the money is.
That is where the money is. And I don't know for sure because I haven't researched it, but I'm willing to say that no, most of them are not. And I'll just put that there.
Well, this is where we're kind of coming full circle. Because this is where you ask the question, And other people ask the question, I ask the question too, is this intentional? Is this by design? Are there people who are occupying our minds with these distracting thoughts? So now we're spending our time trying to figure out whether Steve Harvey's wife is cheating on him with a bodyguard instead of owning patents on better wigs or selling wigs, because wigs are being bought around the world. Nobody needs to know whether you're black or white to buy a wig from you. You can sell wigs out your dorm room, and some people are, all over the world. So this black-white thing it's just a distraction to take up our time.
Yes.
So this is where I'm, now I think we're laying a good foundation for the math of money.
Okay. And which obviously,
get into these numbers at some point. Maybe that'll be a follow-on conversation on how to create intergenerational wealth. But I think this is really, evidently, it's where we needed to be.
I agree, and that's the reason I didn't want to shift or change, because I like where this is going. This is information that the listeners need to hear. It is so much on point. I mean, like spot on. So we'll just like that. You have only thing, like I say, you have to promise you're going to come back so that we can go further back into the math of money and talk about some of the tools and programs that are actually out there that's available for listeners to be able to capitalize on to put themselves in a different financial situation. But let's, with a few minutes I got left, don't have many, got about three more minutes left here. Just speak to the listeners and give them any advice, anything that you think they ought to know with this short period of time we got left. Talk to them.
I would say this. First of all, let's be sure that people can send in questions so that we can get to the next time we can answer questions, whether they send it to you.
Right.
You can text me at 202-812-1591. I respond to text. That's the best way. And send questions. I'll set something up, because this is important. And if there's one thing I want that I would want any young person to do, I would say just become aware of what's going on in the world. Just that's it. Just become aware. Just open your eyes. Ask questions. Get answers. Change the channel. Just talk to somebody you don't know.
Very good. Very good. Well, I'll tell you, this has been absolutely on point. I've enjoyed this. Again, we have to continue. I'll get back with you and we'll schedule a follow-up someday that'll work for you. But I gotta bring you back on. And to my listeners,
all right, well, I'd love to. I hope it's helpful.
This has been very helpful.
We're going into a bad time, brother. We are about to see, the world is at war. This war is going to expand.
Yes. Oh, my God.
We need to wake up.
Yes. Yes. And I was here, and I'll just mention this. I mean, what's going on over there in Palestine, Israel, and then you got the Ukraine and all. And then there are other things going on in other parts of the world, over into the Horn of Africa. It's just a lot going on in the world today. It's a lot. So it's time to wake up. I'll put it like that. It is time to wake up. But anyway, Eric, this has been it's just been a pleasure talking with you. And I will look forward, like I say, I'll be getting with you and we'll schedule for the next time around, and we're going to continue this.
Great.
All right. Peace and blessings, my brother.
Thank you so much, and keep up your good work.
Yes, I will do that. All right.
All right. Have a great.
Same to you. Okay, so listeners, there you go. You have it. You're hearing it directly from a very good brother. As I was saying, he has some very good and different insights about life for black people. And I just knew that his message would be one that would resonate very well here on Business in Motion. So I'll tell you, wow. I don't even know where to start. But anyway, I got to end. So there's no need of me starting because it's time to end. I don't have but a couple more minutes left. What I will say is make sure to go to that website, thebusinessinmotion.com. There's just lots of information there. It's all about this program, but it's also different services that are available. So anybody who wants to capitalize on any of those programs, I don't care where you are. If you're in the United States of America, those services that are being provided can be provided to you. And most of all, as I was saying today about the education, make sure to click on those free college courses, and it's going to direct you to that page, and you're going to put in your email address, and it's going to direct you to the website where you are going to be able to click and to choose whatever course or whatever program you want to engage in. Next week, going to be right back. I don't know if I'm going to have Brother Eric, maybe, because I got somebody else. I got another couple, one who happens to be in Nigeria and one who happens to be here in the United States. They want to be on together. But I'll just plant that seed, but I'll see how that goes. There's some technical things we got to make sure that we have together. But until next week, you all enjoy, have a very fantastic week. And I look forward to being back with you next week.